Hey guys, so I recently just finished watching 24 Frames of Nick's new video on the trilogy of Spongebob movies, and if you haven't seen it, I definitely recommend it. It's a pretty awesome video. So, when he was talking about the second Spongebob movie, something came back to me, now, I will be honest guys, I did not really care for the second SpongeBob movie. I thought that they had a lot of good things in it, like 2D animation and that whole superhero part. But there was something about it that really pissed me off, and that was that it completely retconned Plankton's redemption arc at the end of the movie. Now, honestly, you probably expected it because, SpongeBob is one of those types of shows that doesn't really keep continuity and resorts back to the status quo by the end of the episode. So you probably weren't expecting Plankton to really change his character and have the show have a dramatic change. But then I thought of something. And this came in the form of the ending of the SpongeBob movie 3. Plankton doesn't really go back to his old ways at the end of the movie. He actually keeps his arc. Actually, the third movie kind of repeats his character arc. I'm wondering why Plankton didn't keep his character arc in the second movie at the end. But then I thought of something. Now, if you know the plot of the movie, there's this book that if they wrote their own chapter or anything, it instantly comes true. So at the end of the movie, after they have gotten the formula back, SpongeBob writes in and our heroes return to the Krusty Krab. Except for Plankton. Plankton actually saved the day at the end. So you think that would include Plankton, but it doesn't. So, at the beginning of the movie, it sets up that SpongeBob is a story that is taking place at the same time, but it is also written in the book. Everything that's happening in SpongeBob is written in the book. So, in the book's eyes, Plankton must still be a villain. And so, therefore, it sends him back to where he was at the start of the movie. And that would actually make a lot of sense, because that Plankton actually genuinely felt like he wanted to change in the movie, like he was actually going through an arc. And to have them completely retcon at the end just seemed like a waste of an arc. But if SpongeBob accidentally rewrote the events of the movie like they never happened, and Plankton was instead jumped back to chapter 1 of the movie, where he's still a villain and he still has evil intentions, that makes a lot of sense why he went back to villainy right after he returned to Bikini Bottom, and why he maintained his character arc at the end of the third movie. Now, I actually haven't seen the third movie, I've seen bits of it, but in the movie, Plankton attempts to steal the Krabby Patty formula by sending Gary away to Atlantis, because he figures if he's going to have any chance of getting the formula, he has to attack SpongeBob directly, since SpongeBob's the one that keeps foiling his plans. So when SpongeBob is away, obviously SpongeBob isn't making Krabby Patties, and the Krusty Krab immediately goes out of business, and Mr. Krabs is so depressed because of this that he just gives Plankton the formula. Now, Plankton would normally just take the formula back and, make Krabby Patties, but he feels bad. He feels guilty seeing Krabs so sad that Krabs is not actually trying to get the formula back or fighting in any way. So he sees no point in carrying on with his plan, and in fact he goes to Atlantis to save SpongeBob and Gary with the rest of the crew. And that right there is a very good picture of Plankton's true character. Because if you know Plankton and Krab's origins, there is a special called Friend or Foe that actually focuses on how they grew up together. They were friends, and they started a business together, but greed split the two apart, and so they basically went their separate ways. So the reality of Mr. Krabs and Plankton's dynamic is kind of tragic, but it really shows that Plankton wasn't really a bad guy, and that Krabs is kind of the villain. You should go check out Friend or Foe. Gives a lot of info. So the point is, Plankton is a character that is like been screwed over a lot, and it's resulted in him to become bitter and desperate for success. And when his biggest foe no longer fights, like, he doesn't see any point in carrying on with the plan. So I think that is the reason why Plankton was able to go with the heroes to save SpongeBob and Gary. And I think that's the reason why his whole arc was completely retconned at the end of the second movie, is because SpongeBob accidentally, unknowingly wrote that in the book, thus making the entire events of the movie completely pointless. So, anyways, guys, that's my theory on why Plankton's redemption arc felt like it was completely retconned and pointless at the end of the second movie. What do you guys think? Do you think that this is true? Do you think that SpongeBob writing what he did in the book, accidentally like reverting everything back to square one, was the reason why his arc was completely retconned? Or do you think that Plankton is just naturally evil and that, you know, this movie was always destined to revert back to the status quo, just like every other episode of the series? Let me know down in the comments below, and I will see you guys later.